Why Israelis and Jews know nothing, almost, about Islam. Let's talk about it. I saw it really bothered many people, especially AP and David Wood, going through Israel, seeing how Jews and Israelis don't really know anything about Islam, don't blame Islam, don't think about Islam too much. And also a Jew like Rabbi Shmuley, when he was talking in a talk show, what's his name, Piers Morgan, he was defending Islam, saying, wait, it's supposed to be a beautiful religion from what I've been told. Well, let's talk about it, because there are reasons why Jews who are so ideologically and traditionally and religiously driven people have this blind spot where they don't understand how to understand other ideologies per se, especially Islam and Christianity. All right, so let's open up and let me tell you a little story. My sister, who AP met as well, you have a hello from her, by the way. When he was here, was trying to talk to her about Islam, she basically almost ran away from that room. She said, and even now when I was like downstairs and I say, hey, do you want to know anything about Islam? And she's like, no, I don't care. Why would I care? And I asked her, well, why don't you care? And she said, well, Akam le'orgecha ashkem le'orko. Those who come to kill me, kill them first. What else do I need to know? And I was like, true. So this is reason number one. A lot of Israelis really don't know what Islam is. It's because they say, we don't care. And also, it's not just Muslims who want to kill us, right? One of the biggest Palestinian anti-Israel leaders that really went far to screw Israel as much as possible was Izmi Bishara. He was a Christian. A lot of the slander that we hear is coming from Christians, especially in the Middle East, okay? I met a lot of Copts, Orthodox Greeks, and Orthodox Russians that were incredibly anti-Semitic. And for most people, does it matter if the Christian Bible says that you have to respect Jews when you meet those Christians, especially here, the eastern side of Christianity, and then they're incredibly anti-Semitic and they go above and beyond in a way like what's most stunning about Christianity in the Middle East, that some Christians hate Jews so much, they'd rather go extinct than to be associated with Jews. That's how badly they hate us. So one of the questions is, why does it even matter? And then that doesn't explain why religious Jews, I'm going to talk about ultra-Orthodox Jews especially, don't know what Islam is, but then why do they defend it? Anti-Semitism in Islam is very ingrained to the Quran and to Hadith and the Surah. But what about Judaism? We know how Jews feel about idolatry, but do we know what Jews feel about other religions? And why ultra-Orthodox Jews especially tend to fall into the trap of defending Islam. So here's the thing that I think a lot of people don't understand, that Judaism, it's more like, it doesn't say it, I don't think it says it anywhere explicitly, but it differentiates between religion and idolatry. So idolatry is when you have a statue and then you just sacrifice stuff to that statue and you pray for whatever you want. Religion, that's philosophy, that's tradition, those are books, there is something behind it. And what happened was that the Jews that they went to exile, the religions they met were Hinduism, for example, and I can't say that word, Zoroastrians, whatever, I'm sorry. So they were impressed, okay? They did not look at that and said, oh, we are better. No, the Talmud even says, and I'm going to paraphrase it, there are concepts that the Goyim think about, that we can really learn from and adopt. And if the Goyim have an idea and a concept that is interesting and good, there is no nothing that should stop us from adopting that concept in our own culture. And here is the funny part, is like Judaism can adopt some ideas from Christianity, but the fact that you have statues inside your church and then you pray to a statue of a person that looks like Jesus, for Jews, it's like, it's an hereditary bias that Jews are not, I think, aware of, but it's a cultural bias. It looks like adultery. Like, okay, so you have a statue and you pray to a statue. It's, unless the people go and like do the work of understanding what Christianity is, and that there are actual things like in Christianity that are really interesting ideas that would interest Jews as ideas, they would be looking at it and like, oh, it looks more like adultery than it is. It looks like religion to us. And then the Talmud also, like, there is a clear sign of like accepting ideas from other religions, especially, I cannot say, I should call them the Zoe people, okay, because I cannot pronounce it. So the Zoe people, the Iranians, the Persians, I don't know. And there are a lot of concepts that were actually adopted from that religion into Judaism, and it's okay, it's good. Nobody, because they sounded good to the rabbis, they sounded good to the Jews in the time, and there is nothing against that. And the Kabbalah, that is the mystical Judaism and things like that, and the concept of karma and things like that, there are a lot of things there that were more inspired by Hinduism, for example. So Islam doesn't worship idols the way Judaism thinks like adultery is, so it can confuse Jews that, okay, they don't have like a statue that they pray to nothing, so it looks more like the way Jews perceive prayer. And then on the other, like, hereditary, I'm speaking especially with the ultra-Orthodox Jews who don't understand what's wrong with Islam on surface level, is that Judaism is kind of open to listening to good ideas that other people have. Just doesn't like idolatry specifically. And yeah, idolatry is praying to a statue. So that's ultra-Orthodox, and that's why you can fool them super easily about what Islam really is. And when it comes to secular Jews, a lot of them are like, why does it even matter? You do something wrong, we come and get you, that's it. And I want to say another thing about like the Quran underfoot photo that the Israeli minister or some official asked to remove from Twitter from David Wood. Can you imagine if somebody did it to the Bible? If a Muslim came to the Western Wall and did it to the Bible? Yeah, Jews can go crazy too, okay? Not only Muslims. Jews like are not like Christians maybe. Jews have the red lines. A lot of times people don't understand what the red lines are, but Jews do have them. And especially in Israel, especially now that we're back to Israel, so we have we're going back to the more of like the original Judaism that died in Metzadah, kind of. Judaism is also militaristic, but it's militaristic in Israel, just in this piece of land, which is our promised Holy Land. And to survive and to make Judaism survive outside of Israel, there were a lot of adjustments that had to be made in the Talmud for Judaism to survive outside of Israel, and that's a completely different talk that I can do in another time. So I would say those who really like embed everything that is Judaism are those Jews who are called Zionistic Orthodoxy. The ultra-Orthodox, they represent the spiritual side of Judaism alone, but it misses a lot of like traditional Judaism teaching, especially from the Bible. And I know some yeshivas that are very ultra-Orthodox that sometimes, a lot of times, border being occults, try to avoid the Bible, because the Bible is a lot more like what Israel is. So, okay, I'm gonna stop here. It's a completely different topic. But yeah, Israelis and Jews in general don't understand Islam because they either don't care, or they either be like, okay, so tell me what's good about your religion so I can learn from it. And other than that, that's your problem. That's it. And is it a blindness? That's the question. Is it the wrong way to think? I think it's wrong because it's one of the reasons we fail so much with Hasbara, is because we fail to understand ideologies that are not ours. I mean, those who kind of, especially now that Christianity is a bit more accessible, for a lot of Jews, they're like, oh, okay, so this idolatry part is like a facade. But other than that, Christianity sounds awesome. But with Islam, they, Taqiyya works on, and then they get confused of like, okay, why did they take a quote from the Talmud that says that saving a soul is like saving the world, and then they act completely differently? Isn't it against Islam? This is how they're thinking. But for the most part, like, they're pretty isolationist to begin with. And unless it's something good, philosophically good, they don't care. If it'd be like, hey, come listen to my awesome ideas that I think we should embrace from whatever religion, then they'll be more open to listening. And yeah, but the problem is that our Hasbara sucks because of it, because we don't know how to talk to other people. And we don't know how those ideologies affect us as much as we should know. Especially now that we finally have a platform where, like, yes, we are a minority, but we actually can speak and tell, hey, that's what Judaism is like. That's what we do, that's who we are, that's what we believe. And we cannot do that without understanding. Like, Jews grew up in this rich culture, in this rich environment, with this long history. And it blinds us. It blinds us to those people who don't have that. It's like for even hard to explain or understand conceptually. How is it like growing up without it? So yeah, this is something I didn't understand until I saw AP and David Wood in Israel. I didn't ask myself, wait, what if you don't have that at all? How weird. How different would my life be? Yeah. But when I tell my sister, hey, want to hear something about Islam, she's like, she dashes out of the room immediately. But she'll grow older, and maybe she'll be interested, and maybe not. It's okay, whatever. She wants to be a doctor, not a politician anyway. My other sister who studies law is way more interested on those topics anyway. Okay, subscribe, like, comment, ask me questions. I'll talk about stuff. Obviously, I say that, hey, yeah, this is what I'm going to talk about, and then I'm going to talk about whatever I feel like talking. But I'm going to get to everything, I promise. Follow, share. I'm pretty sure YouTube doesn't like content of the kind of style that I'm creating, so please share. Help me be visible. See ya.